Golden State Warriors have been like a roller coaster up and down. Of course, we know about Klay Thompson's torn Achilles. I can sympathize with the brother. I tore my Achilles back in August, and it was just as simple, something as simply as running backwards, and I tore my Achilles. Like running backwards during the circuit, tore my Achilles. There it goes, boom. So the Achilles is an enigma within itself. Nobody really knows whether it's stiffness or flexibility that causes it to go or overuse. Because you gotta think about this. There are people that are actually like gymnasts that tear their Achilles, and they're flexible as God knows what. So we'll never really know until the literature changes on it. While this seems like doom and gloom for the Golden State Warriors, people are poo-pooing them a little bit too soon. One of the key things that people fail to realize is this: while Klay is gone for another year, they're still coming back with a good team. You can say that they're not a championship team, but they have championship pedigree in terms of Steph Curry and Draymond Green, and the culture itself is a championship culture. So hey, they might not be the front runners to win a title, but shit, if they get into the playoffs and they face a team, don't think that possibility of upset is not prevalent there. They drafted James Wiseman. They traded for Kelly Oubre. They're gonna absorb his $14 million contract, and the luxury tax on that bitch is crazy. It's $66 million. $66 million for luxury. So you spend $14 million, you gotta pony up another $66 million, which shows that they're committed to having a good season this year. Of course, they got the arena. They want to fill the stands. But it also shows that, hey, man, we're not going to pack it up. We're going to try to put a viable product on the court. James Wiseman is not no scrub or anything like that. Second overall pick. He's a big that could, do big things, but he could also space the floor a little bit with a shot. The main thing is Draymond Green. Draymond Green has to come up with some kind of viable offense or shot or something like that. Kelly Oubre, which is people were saying it's just Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre can play basketball. He's a good player. You know what I'm saying? He's had stints, with the Suns, with the Wizards, but he's a good player, and he's one of those guys that he likes to play basketball. It's not just a job for him. He likes all the dressing up and all the other stuff too, but he likes get on the floor and put on a show, playing hard and trying to do his thing. So while we know Kelly Oubre is not the replacement for Klay Thompson or whatever the case is, he has big shoes to fill in that regard. He is still a viable player and one to be respected. Now here's the X factor for the Warriors: Andrew Wiggins. What kind of Wiggins are we going to get this year? Is he going to step out of the shadows and really show his worth, or is he going to go into the doldrums? But I know the Warriors aren't as good, and people feel like they could play a box-to-one against Stephen Curry and it's going to be all good and all gravy. I'm telling you guys right now, the Warriors can be a playoff team, whether it's 7 or 6 or 5. They're not a team to just laugh at and think that, it's a wrap, it's all good. They've never been that kind of team. They've had injuries before, and you remember when KD has been out before, and they had a stretch when they went crazy. There's been times when Steph been out and they still play well. This team, I'm trying to say, as constituted with most of their parts. When they have most of their parts and most of the parts are healthy, they're still a viable team. So I don't think that people mocking them or saying the dynasty's over, this, that, and the third. They're one trade away or one move away from being back in the conversation again. So I know Klay is out this year, but if Klay comes back 100% or 90%, because his game is not built on a bunch of bounce. Klay's game is built on shooting, and you can shoot forever. That's a skill set that nobody can take away from you. So if he comes back with that skill set the following year, and they can make a big splash in the free agency market, Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's a wrap, guys. Hoops Junction, Hoops Junction, like, comment, subscribe.